I'm talking today to Shirley Frimpong-Manso, who is the CEO of Sparrow Productions. She's also the director of the film series Adam's Apples. Shirley, you're now 10 parts into the series.
Yes.
What happened in the story so far, and what's going to happen in the new season?
Well, let's just say that it ended on a very good note. Okay, right. The family, the Adam's Apples, the Adams family went through their own individual challenges. You know, we had marriages that were almost at the brink of divorce. You know, that were able to reconcile, and then we had an AIDS scare. That was a very interesting episode. You know, when one of our very strong characters.
So which member of the family was that?
Jennifer Adams.
Right.
Okay. She dated this guy who insisted that before they actually consummated their relationship, that they went for AIDS test. And you would think that for somebody like Jennifer Adams, you know, with the fact that she's all modern and she's out there, you think that it's something that she would easily embrace. But then we got to realize, as it is in real life, that a lot of us are very afraid to find out exactly what our status is. So it became, we tackled that issue over 2 episodes, which got a lot of people talking. You know, it became a real social issue, you know, that people talked about in their offices. And finally, when she got around to doing it, she found out that she was negative, but I think that she learned a real good lesson in that, and that also brought her closer to her family, as well as her step brother, which was introduced in episode 3 or 4. Yes.
Why would a man insist on an HIV/AIDS test before starting a relationship?
Well, this guy has come from a home that he's come from an upbringing like that, you know, that the mother insists that, okay, you need to find the perfect woman to be with. I mean, he's a
like
doctor, psychologist, unlike his mother. Yes. So it's influences from his parents, you know. And he had grown up to believe that for me to be with a woman of my dreams, she has to come very, very clean. I mean, she has to come with the entire package. And he insists that he checks almost every 6 months just to make sure that he's okay. And there's no way by telling in the face that this person is sick or not. You know? Yeah, and there's a whole idea about women who have not married at the age of 30, have been around a lot. Have a history. Yeah, have a history. Yes. And so we need to check that history and make sure that, you know, there's no history of any kind of disease. Yeah. It was an eye opener even for me writing it. Yeah, because I went through the journey of having to ask a lot of questions and having to answer those questions myself.
And what will happen in series 2? How do you keep it fresh? Because you in a sense, you've had one run at it.
Yeah, that's true.
So how are you going to keep it fresh in the second series?
Well, we're meeting the Adams Apples, the Adams family, a year after we left them, and we left them on a very good note. So yes, there wasn't much of a cliffhanger, but I guess the interesting thing is, where can we take the stories of these people who seem to have found happiness at the end of, you know, a very long, for want of a better word, turbulent, you know, life experience. You know, we're starting the second season on a big bombshell. Okay?
Right.
Yes, and we are taking. I think the most exciting part for us is the fact that we're starting not necessarily from Ghana. We're starting some of the scenes from Paris. Okay, with Jennifer and her young husband. Okay, on a honeymoon. Okay, and then of course we're catching up with all the other couples. Yeah. But we come to realize that after marriage, after you've said your I do's, that's when life really begins. Yes. You know, for married couples. And in episode 1, it was just Baba and her husband who were married. Yes. The other 2 sisters were not, but they are all married now. Yeah. So we have a lot of married issues. You know, we're talking about children. We're talking about being married to a younger man, in the case of Jennifer Adams, and if indeed...
You're talking about the family in-laws?
Yeah, we're talking about family in-laws. We're talking about business. We're going to be focusing a lot on business and how business affects the lives of these people. And we're also talking about the head of the family, which is Mrs. Adams. She's the only person who's still not married, because in season 1 we realized that her husband was dead, and she had tried to date 1 or 2 men. She has a permanent man in her life, but she is going to struggle with, handing over the, sort of. She's
sharing.
always been, sharing her responsibility as the head of the house with another man.
Yes.
Okay, so we've got a lot of that. We've got a lot in season 2.
A lot of storylines.
I dare say that season 2 has a lot more interesting twists and turns as compared to season 1.
How well did Adam's Apples do in the cinema?
Adam's Apples was absolutely phenomenal. We started it off. It was a bit of a gamble right from the beginning.
Yeah.
It's something we really wanted to do. We weren't too sure how it was going to do, people thought we were absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Coming out with 10 chapters, 10 chapter cinema movie, getting people to go to the cinema, every month, every time it came out.
Yeah. Because there's only a small number of cinemas on there as well.
Well, literally one.
Yes. In the mall in Accra.
In the mall in Accra, yes.
Yeah.
So, we started off with the premiere at the National Theatre.
Yeah.
That was great. That was very, very encouraging.
Yeah.
And then we went over. Then it went over to the Silverbird Cinema at the mall, which was good. But our experience was that it sort of caught up. With people, somewhere around the fifth chapter.
Yeah.
So we had sort of a slight dip in the middle, and then after the fifth chapter,
picked up
it sort
again.
of picked up. It picked up 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 was absolutely brilliant. Chapter 9 had scenes from the UK. The story went. We took the story to London, where we shot scenes on Virgin Atlantic, and some scenes in the city of London, and that was absolutely phenomenal. And then it ended on a very, very good note. With 10. People loved it. I'd say that Adam's Apples is actually even more popular today as compared to when we launched it last year.
So why, if it's been so successful in the cinema, are you considering doing television for series 2?
Oh, here's the thing. The cinema in Ghana is sort of belongs to a niche audience.
Yeah.
Cinema existed a couple of years back. Somewhere in the 80s, the early 80s, and it sort of it vanished, completely vanished. What we tried to do with this was to try and bring the cinema experience back, but it sort of affected only a niche market. We want to be able to get the entire country watching Adam's Apples, and we thought that the best way to do this is to take it is to put it on TV. People are asking for Adam's Apples today, and the only place they can watch it is if they buy a DVD or a VCD.
Yeah.
But because we don't have a very, very brilliant distribution model, it's quite difficult to find these.
There's a lot of piracy as well.
Yeah. Piracy, yes, absolutely. Piracy is taking over as well. So the best thing for us, we thought, would be to put it on television, make it available for people to be able to watch it, at a specific time from their homes.
And how widely distributed has it been outside of Ghana?
Here's the thing. We are literally still working on proper distribution models outside of Ghana.
Yeah.
Mnet bought the rights to Adam's Apples, and they showed it on their network.
And they're the pay TV provider.
So Anglophone Africa, got a chance to watch Adam's Apples. But then aside of that, internationally, the only way people have been able to watch it is if they bought the VCDs or DVDs from Ghana, and distributed it out to friends and family on the internet. we sold Adam's Apples 1 to 5
Yeah.
on Amazon.
Right.
And presently, it's you can buy VOD version on Amazon as well. So you just go onto Amazon and
Okay.
type it out. We've not heavily marketed that yet. We're actually looking at doing that before the end of the year, before 2013. So yeah.
And what's the reaction been to the series outside of Ghana? How have people responded to the story?
People love it.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons why we've actually considered doing a season 2. People absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Ghanaians or Africans in the diaspora, they've been hooked.
And they recognise.
Yeah, they've been totally hooked onto Adam's Apples in terms of the storyline, the actors, the fashion, and the fact that we've been able to portray certain parts of Ghana, and our lifestyle in Ghana, through Adam's Apples, and this is some of the things that have caught their attention.